Hey guys, I'm going to be giving you my first look on the new Snap-on's quarter-inch drive long-handled flex head ratchet. As you can already tell, it's pretty long, which is awesome. I've never seen a quarter-inch drive ratchet this long before. As far as my knowledge goes, the longest quarter-inch drive ratchet you could get is a Matco. If I'm wrong, let me know. Because I'd rather have the longest handled stuff. I really like all my ratchets with longer handles for better leverage. But part number on this guy is AR8T. That's for the Matco. The part number on the Snap-on is TLLF72. I know I've said it before, I do not like tool reviews on stuff that's brand new. But I kind of have an idea of how this is going to work because I do use its big brother, which is the FX80. This is a 3/8 drive, and essentially it's the same tool in a smaller package. But don't get me wrong, I'm still going to give you guys a review on this after I have used it. Let you know how it's going to be doing. One thing I can already tell you off the bat is this is a ratchet that I don't think is going to last forever. Definitely a long time, but not forever. I'm pretty sure it's going to have to be rebuilt just like this one. If you can see on these kinds of ratchets, the weak point is the joint where it can flex out and move up and down, side to side. I have tried to tighten this down so that way I get as minimal movement as possible, but after tightening it, I can tell that the bolt in here is bent and warped. So I expect that will probably happen with this one also. Main comparisons between the Matco and the Snap-on is the Matco's head is much bigger than the Snap-on, and the teeth of it are a lot beefier, and there's a lot less teeth than the Snap-on. So for you car mechanics out there, this isn't going to do you justice compared to this. That's not to say that this is a worser tool and this is a better one. In my mind, I do not have better or worse tools. I have favorite tools, but both of these in my mind get my A+ grade. Because this is much lesser teeth and it's a much thicker head, you're not going to get as much room with it as you would with this guy. You get 72 teeth in this, which is it's kind of standard, but because you get 72 teeth with the longest handled quarter-inch drive ratchet, and you got such a lower tooth count with this guy, it's gonna work a lot better. So what I do professionally is I work on industrial air compressors, and if you've seen my TP3 video, the Vito Pro Pack TP3, you'll see that I keep that Matco ratchet in there. This is going to be replacing my Matco ratchet in my TP3, and I'm going to try and find another home for my Matco in another bag. The fact that these do flex is some of the nicest things on them. Sometimes I got to work at odd angles, and being able to flex out like that definitely comes in handy. Having to stay one position kind of sucks, and there are some solutions to this, but it's not exactly a replacement to having a flex head. One thing that I can tell you also about these is these will break. It's just the way they're designed. As tough as these Snap-on tools, they're not impossible to break. They do withstand the test of time, and for me, I like that. I like that a Snap-on tool will withstand the test of time. I live in Southern California, around the San Gabriel Valley. I'm not going to tell you exactly where, but from the San Gabriel Valley, I've driven out as far as Palm Springs and Fraser Park, if you know where those locations are at. So when I'm way out that far and I have a tool that I can depend on and not some shitty thing from fucking Home Depot or from Harbor Freight, and I know I can trust this. Because when I'm way out there and, you know, a crappy tool breaks on me and I got nothing else to do the job, when you're telling a customer that when they're down and they're losing thousands of dollars by minutes, that's no fucking excuse in their mind. So to tell somebody I can't complete your job because of one fucking tool and they're losing thousands of dollars, that in their mind that they can't accept that. That's not an acceptable answer. So having the best things I can get to do the job is what I need. I rely on the Snap-on name. I rely on it daily. I rely on the Matco name, and it's been there, and it's held true to me. But I am a Snap-on guy. I do like Snap-on tools. Hate the fact that the heads do not stamp USA on it. They're not made in USA, plain and simple. The handles are. They got USA stamp on it, so I'm pretty sure the handles are made in USA, but the heads aren't. Kind of a downer, but whatever. That's the way of the world. It's the way corporations are going to work. It's going to be cheaper to do things overseas, so that's my first look on it. Pretty much this is going to complete the family with the 3/8 drive models with flex heads and the half-inch drive models with flex heads. You know, the long-handled versions, exactly. Only things I don't like about it off the bat is the handle. It's so small. I mean, it's barely half my hand, so I can already tell just from squeezing it, if I start pushing on it, this point right here is gonna bug me, which I'll get past it. It's not too big a deal. The fact that I'm getting something with this much leverage, it's definitely worth it. But I'll be using this specifically on our motors, electric motors from 7.5 horsepower and below. I mainly work on 7.5 and 5 horsepower most often if I am working on something that small. But the fact that this is so much longer and the fact that I could flex it up, I can get my hand away from base plates on compressor tanks, and I definitely have enough leverage to crack the nuts and bolts loose. And what I also ended up getting too from Snap-on, which I can never find with the Home Depot Husky brand or even the Harbor Freight brand Pittsburgh, is I can never find sockets up to 14 and 9/16, and so now I do. And for 7.5 horsepower, the biggest bolt you're gonna find on a motor is 14 or 9/16, which they do cross over, but I prefer just to have the metric and the standard. For when I'm working on a brand that I know it's metric, I know it's imperial, then I'll use the proper socket with it. I really highly advocate using the right tool for each application. I understand sometimes you're in a pinch, you'll do things to get by, which is definitely not an issue, but I do that as well. But you should definitely use the right tools for the right application. So don't go put this ratchet on a 19mm or 1-inch socket with an adapter and then torque the shit out of it and fucking break it and then complain like, oh, it's a piece of crap tool. No, you should not use something like that. If you're going to use anything up to 1 inch, 3/8 is what you're going to want to use at least. I would use a half-inch drive for 1 inch. But the biggest thing I use on a 3/8 is 15/16. For some bolts that haven't really been too much of a problem when it comes to using the larger heads, then yeah, I understand you'll put an adapter on it just to save some time, but just because you got this long handle doesn't mean you go put an adapter on it and torque the shit out of stuff, not even moving bolts and cracking this thing apart. That's just not what the tool is meant for. For you experienced mechanics out there, technicians, the fans of Snap-on tools, I'd highly recommend this tool. Online, if you buy it, it's $70 plus sales tax and shipping and handling. You buy it on the truck, you'll spend about $114, I believe. I got it because it just came out so recently. My dealer was selling them 25%, like 20 or 25% off, and I got it for $90 flat, which is pretty cool deal. But definitely check it out. Highly recommend it. If you work on cars, I'd even recommend it more to you guys more than you industrial maintenance technicians out there. Really awesome tool. Again, I'll give you a review on this after I've used the tool for a while, and give you the aftermath of it. If it's broken, believe me, if it breaks tomorrow when I use it, I'll let you guys know. But other than that, all the part numbers to these tools will be in the description if you're looking for them. No links, just the part numbers, so that way you can type that in on the internet and find the tool for you. Thanks, guys.